Mr. John Demitri, thank you very much for your time today. If you don't mind, get going here. Will you introduce yourself? Let
Sure.
anybody who's watching this know who you are, where you're at, and what do you do?
Sure. So I'm John Demitri. I'd like to go by my last name, Demitri. There's just so many Johns in the world. And it was kind of out of necessity because my significant other, her two best friends, their husbands are all named John. So you can imagine we get together, you got John, John, and John. So it's much easier for me to just be Demitri. And that is just kind of stuck. And for the last, I don't know, 13 and a half years, it's been Demitri. And but I'll answer to John if I can make money. So don't worry about that. All right. Let's see. So I'm a business owner, realtor, entrepreneur. I'm sitting in Florida, Palm Beach County, trying to set the world on fire here and do a lot of real estate deals, not just traditional stuff, but also investing as well. But I'm focused right now in building that traditional real estate model, getting listings, getting buyers, assisting agents to be on my team, to have them thrive as well because of all the services and technologies that I'm doing that support them. And I guess one of the biggest things, and maybe, I think a lot of business owners, it kind of depends on where they came from and started in their concept of getting into business. And what they, in many cases, don't realize, and especially people getting into real estate, don't realize how many parts and pieces there are to owning a business. It isn't just, oh, I'm going to go do this. Like, all right, I'm going to go sell a house. Well, what do I need to find? Well, I need a buyer. Well, how am I going to find that buyer? I got to have some marketing for that. Then what? I got to know how to do the contracts, and maybe I have to have the technology to be able to do that. And I need my phone to work. I need my computer to work. I need my internet to work. I need to know that even though it sounds like, oh, I got the computer net, well, maybe there's certain software I've got to use as well, right? I've got to be able to use Adobe, for instance, because I got to get signatures, or maybe I'm using DocuSign for electronics. Maybe I've got to use Canva because I've got to do some, not just marketing, but flyers, or even explaining, what I want somebody to understand, but do it more in a graphical way. And then you take all of that and you say, well, now how does that go to my accounting? How does that go to my record keeping? What other information should I have? So there's so many pieces that you can get completely overwhelmed. And here's the other thing. Most people, you're not experts at it. It's like, I'm really good at like 2 or 3, but there's 150 that I need to do. And, and I've gone through a lot of different vendors. And here's the other thing about real estate agents. We're easy targets. We get slammed from every single angle from people wanting to sell us the dream. Hey, look, I got this service. I'm going to get you a lead. And the leads are really cheap. All you got to do is one closing. You pay for a whole year of my service. All you need is one, right? And people buy into that crap. They buy into the idea of, oh, well, he's only going to charge me $50 a month. All I need is one listing. I'm going to make 5,000, 10,000. Depends on your market. Hell, you might make 20,000 on a listing on a sale. But did the lead actually pan out? How many leads did you do? How committed were you? Because most agents don't even follow up with people. They call, they say, well, my brother-in-law is this, or, the wife and I were thinking about it, but I don't think we're going to do it right now. Okay, so you hang up and you go, that lead is bad. No, you're bad, because you got to follow up with them. Just because right now isn't the right time, that doesn't mean it's never the right time. It just means today wasn't. You don't know. Next week he might get a job change in 3 months, and he now has more money, and he goes, I want to get a house with a pool. Well, if you haven't stayed in touch with the guy, you're not going to get that opportunity. You got
on to the next one.
Yeah, you got to farm them. So there's just so many parts. And like I said, we're huge targets because title companies want us to do business. Inspectors want us to do it. Mortgage companies want us to help them. We're being bombarded. And then you got our own real estate board. Oh, you should use this service, and this is how you should do it. Oh my God, you don't even have time to do your business. And so that kind of brings us to how you guys came to me, and then I'll tie that into all the experience and failures that I've had and why I'm happy with where I'm at.
Oh, John, first of all, this is why we love talking to you. You have so much experience, so much perspective, and you just are able to really be loquacious about your thoughts. I guess, if we did kind of divert back to the very beginning, like, how would you describe the onboarding process when you first started working with us? Like, what did that look like in context of some of the other vendors you've worked with over the past many years?
Well, 2 words. The first was totally amazing. And amazing from the standpoint of, I've had a lot of different companies that go to do onboarding, and it's like this slow, agonizing process that gets drawn out, and you got forms you got to fill out, and then maybe you got to follow up and see what they did. And no, you guys were like jumping into it in 5-10 minutes. It was like, okay, let's get started. And it was like, in fact, it was so fast, I couldn't keep up. It was like this shotgun thing. They just said, okay, boom, let's get it done. And not only that, it was very comprehensive. So that'd be the other word that I would say, that it didn't just look at one little thing, it was looking at many things. And of things, for instance, configuration within my CRM. I haven't had a single company out there that could jump into my CRM and work competently in it, not only competently in it, better than I can do. And that says a lot, because I've been in this CRM a long time. I've developed a whole lot of things. And when somebody can come in and best me, I go, oh, okay, this is a good company to work with. So yeah, that's how I would describe the onboarding.
Oh man, you're the man, John. And really glad you feel that way. That's our goal. We want to be as clean and tight and succinct as we possibly can. And I guess, kind of diverging from that as well, like, was there a moment where you felt maybe we did go above and beyond and support your needs, or is it just kind of been kind of consistent from the jump?
From my viewpoint, it's been above and beyond pretty much the whole time. I think from what you guys described, because, a lot of times a salesman just blows a whole lot of smoke up your ass. That's it. And a lot of that is to get you to go ahead and take the commitment. And you figure, all right, if I can get like 10% of what they told me, maybe 20%, then it's probably pretty good and you're going to do that. Well, you guys did everything you said you were going to do, and then some more things which were actually really more surprising to me, and that was more on the marketing side as well, being able to actually write the copy, to take ideas and concepts that I had and write copy and write multiple versions of it so you had choices and be able to put it together. But not just write it, but also do it in like a very short time frame. Like, I give you an idea, here's what I've got. Hey, within 30 minutes, I got examples to look at. And that is shocking in comparison to companies that I've worked with. So yes, it's always above and beyond. It's what you said you're going to do and then some. But I would say the expediency at which you get things done, that's always above and beyond from what I've both expected and certainly experienced from any other company.
Oh, it was really nice to hear that, John. I mean, I guess kind of moving on from the beginning and support with tech and whatnot, I guess curious, like, has there anything that we've done as a team, any perspective we shared with you that's kind of changed your approach to your business?
Yeah, actually there's many. And I'll tell you, there's the fact that there's multiple calls to get on during the week and just ask questions, just brainstorm. That in itself has been the pieces. And last week we were talking about one of my specific niches that I'm going after, and the workflows that I have in place of where they really were not, they weren't performing at the rate or at the level at which I thought they should have been. That the conversion, if I'm putting in 500 leads, I expect at least 20, 30, 40 people to have engaged, and I'm talking to, and I was getting way below that. And in reviewing all of that, Elliot, for instance, looked at it and said, okay, well, maybe we need to spread something out, because I was doing a pop-up piece, which we couldn't measure as to how many people saw that pop-up page that had a form. And I was using a single form for two different reasons. And he said, let's make it, why don't you do separate pages and do separate forms? Then you have a better way of measuring your metric of how many people saw that page, how many people engaged, and why did they engage. So we did that, and I actually have better numbers. And then the second piece we did is you guys went through the whole process, like you were that lead, and you went through the whole process and you looked at, what did I tell you in my videos? What did I tell you in the script? What were all the options? And then you came back with suggestions and said, hey, how about this? Could you do this and this? And it actually put some big light bulbs in my place. I totally rewrote one of my pages, and this week we're running it to see if that doesn't make a dramatic difference. And
I mean, what you did there is awesome, by the way. Really impressive what you put together.
Well, part of it is, and I think this is where where I would say describes you guys in comparison to anybody else that I have been with, any other service provider that I've used. And this is where is one of those intangible things that people may not even realize that they're going to get as a benefit. And when they are getting it, they might not even necessarily notice it. And that is, it's easy to be in your business and you are constantly focusing on it. But it's very difficult to actually have peers that are in that business that you can talk to, not worry about being robbed, and actually bring inspiration to what you're doing and another viewpoint that allows you to then take it and exponentially make it better. And that's what I find from those meetings that we get. I mean, even listening to some of the other clients that you've got in those meetings and in where they are and asking some questions has helped my business. And I think I've helped some of them in giving some examples as well.
Oh, you absolutely have. Through third-party channels, obviously, everybody has their private Slack channel. They bring up John from time to time. And I think one person specifically may have reached out to you already. If not, I'll tap on her again. But I think she wanted to build a larger relationship with you. But man, that's great to hear, John. I guess, besides everything you just said, is there any anything that's like lasting impression, any major takeaways that you would say working with our firm has left on you in your business at this point? Or
Um, yeah, I
maybe
mean,
that's a bit redundant because I
yeah, I
mean,
mean, because I've talked
ultimately,
about, well, I would say there is, it is, the one thing that it has given to me is I don't feel like I need to be in search right now. Even though anytime I've ever had other providers, I always felt like it was incomplete and I still had to go find some other services. And I don't feel like I need to do that. I feel like I truly have a partner in my business that it doesn't matter what part of my business they're willing to help and either do for me or figure out with me how I get it done. So that is a comfort, I would say, that comes out of it.
oh my God, I mean, that is like our mission statement. So that's awesome to hear, John.
Okay.
I mean, thank you for those kind words. I guess the very last question I have, I mean, if any other real estate professionals watching this, if they're considering to partner with our firm, is there anything you would say to them to help make that decision a bit easier for them?
Um, yes, I think I would. So it's kind of a two-part piece. I'm going to tell them that first, they need to take a moment and truly define, right on paper, what are your objectives? What are you going to go after? There are so many ways to make money as a realtor. Who am I going after? Am I going after move-up buyers? Am I going after listings? Do I want first-time home buyers? Do I want buyers only within, let's say a 10-mile radius of my house? Some people do that. Some people, they get their license, they don't know what to do. And so they go, well, I'm in Florida. I can sell anywhere in Florida. So wherever they are, send them to me. What you really need to look at is what's going to make the difference for you. How much money do you have to spend? And then when you engage these guys, tell them everything and have them take one of those things and perfect it, measure it, get it in place, measure it, perfect it, get it going. And once you have it going, don't do something new yet. Take the profit that you have and increase your ad spend. If you're spending $500 a month and you're making $10,000, I'm going to tell you to go spend $2,000 a month so you can make $40,000. You got to think of it as an investment. Now, there becomes a point of saturation of where no matter how much more you spend, you're not going to get past a certain point, and that is because where you are generating your leads, there's only X number of sales that are going to happen, and you're only going to get so much market share out of that. So that's a consideration inside of there. But wherever you start at, it's going to be so minuscule, there's going to be a while before you ever get to that point. But start with that, make a bunch of money, and when that's kind of saturated, or at least, I won't say saturated at the end, but it's really turning really well, go do your next thing and build it out the same way.
John, thank you for taking some time out of your super busy day. I know you have tons of follow-up, tons of appointments, tons of things to be working on, a bunch of listings you're trying to ramp up. So, I mean, thanks for being open to this. And I just want to say I really appreciate you. We love you as a client. It's been great getting to know you. And I mean, that's all I had, unless there's anything else you wanted to share. But I mean, I don't think there's anything else I can even ask. I mean, I'm broken at this point.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I'm very happy. I'm looking forward to, growing this out. Cause like right now, my thing is going after expired listings. And that's really pretty much what I'm focusing on. Once we've got that going, then, I got 10 other things that I want to do, and we're going to do one at a time and, get things going just like I just described. So yeah, I'm looking forward to next year, this time, to what we've accomplished in 12 months.
I love it, John. I love it, as are we. And thanks again. And I hope you have a great day. We'll probably see you in 20 minutes or so.
All right, we're good. Let's set a calendar. 12 months from now, we're going to do a follow-up to this video.
I'm going to send a calendar invite right now.
Okay.
You're the man, John. Have a great day. I'll talk to you really soon.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye now.